Hi everybody, welcome to School of Scarlet. I'm so happy to have you here today. Today I want to go over the concept of oneness through a practical demonstration using cookie dough. I think y'all are probably getting ready for the Christmas season, the holiday season, and so I thought this to be a good demonstration. You can imagine the great big piece of dough that I started out with to be source, to be everything, to be the substance that is woven and is in and running through all things. This is what is unifying everything. This is how you can imagine oneness in a practical sense. The dough itself has no attributes. It has no identification. It has no specific look to it, form to it, anything. It's more like a blob. But as you can see, at some point, this blob that I originally started off with, I've broken it up into different pieces, so it's become fractalized. So this is what happens in our reality. We are just one essence, one source running through everything, and that source is truly actually nothing. The substance of that nothing creates an illusion that is projected into being everything. But it is still an illusion. And in that illusion, it can fragment itself. Through the illusion, it is now two. We are now experiencing duality. And so it is basically imagining, having a grand old time in imagining many, many things. This is infinity. It's breaking itself up into many different fractalized pieces of itself. But you see, every time that it fractalizes, it literally is like a mirror. It's an exact copy of the original. It is still not as great as the original, but it is the same. And so it creates itself in this kind of fractalized way. But you see, these fractals at any time can also be unified back into its unified state. So although you can take the, let's say in this case, cookie dough, and make many different little balls, and those we can use as examples as individuals. They are all individuals just born to be little balls of dough. They don't have much of identity. We can see that they are born a blank slate, as many people say. But then life happens, and that life may imprint them with, let's say, a shape. In this case, with cookie dough, you can actually imprint a shape by imprinting some kind of figure onto the dough, or you can cut out shapes. Either way you do it, now you've created something that is differentiating it from another. And you see, each one of these doughs, each one of these little balls of dough will be its own individual, unique expression. And so it will express itself in a different shape if it were a cookie. But imagine if it were a person. This is the same. It would be a different shape, maybe a different color, maybe a different way of dressing, of expressing, of talking, of being, a different kind of color. Maybe some people are a little darker, some are a little brighter. As we can see with the cookies, there's all kinds of sprinkles. There are light colored sprinkles, dark colored sprinkles, long sprinkles, big shiny sprinkles, patterns, snowflakes. Then there's just sugar. And we can see that the cookies themselves have been baked differently. Some have little burned edges to them. Some of them aren't burned at all. And this is like in life. Some of us go through more pressure. We go through a little more baking in life. We get burned a little. And some of us have a little smoother. We can see with this cookie, it's a little harder. There's different types of cookies. There's different kinds of cookies. And they have different hardness to them as well. Some are softer, some are harder. And so we see this also playing out within reality. But if you have forgotten that this is all coming from the same source, the same essence, the same fabric of reality. Because you see, we started off with that big piece of dough, and at any time, this cookie is that. It is that. It has that imprint throughout it, and it is never separate from its original source. No matter how many sprinkles you put on it, how much icing you put on it, what you call it, what names you give it, it still is its essence what it is, source.